You're watching WHPS, Highland Park, Detroit.
WGPR Detroit HD2.
The views and opinions expressed on the following show are not necessarily the views and opinions of WHPS, its affiliates, management, or sponsors.
Greetings and welcome to this week's edition of The Author Speaks, where we highlight some of Detroit's greatest authors and give them the opportunity to speak directly to you. My name is Sherry Jackson Caldwell, and my special guest for today is none other than Sandra Cobb. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here,
And
Sherry.
I am so excited to have you. First and foremost, let me congratulate
Thank
you
you. Thank
on
you.
this great accomplishment. You hold so many titles,
Thank
you wear
you.
so many hats, but you found the time to pen this awesome book. I found it to be an easy read, but it was deep,
Great.
it was profound, and it was truly inspirational. I especially love how each chapter at the end you highlighted some reflection questions, some meditation scriptures, and even guided prayers. I thought it was just beautifully put together, and I was just so
you.
inspired by you having the courage to even be this transparent. I've known you for a
Yes,
long time, and I
ma'am.
found some things out that I didn't know.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
for you to share those personal testimonies of your life and your journey in this path of forgiveness was just truly something that I want to applaud you for.
Oh, bless you. Thank you for that.
Sure.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, I mean, it's a heavy topic,
Yes,
but you
ma'am.
made it a topic that is approachable, that you could deal with yourself and really look into yourself
Yes,
and get
yes.
on that journey. My first question for you today is, who should read this book, Free to Forgive?
Thank you for asking that question. That's a great question. Everyone, I believe this book is for everyone. So if you think you're having the slightest bit of challenge in an area of forgiveness, this book is for you. Whether you're female or male, you're an older adult, you're a younger adult, Christian, non-Christian, black or white, if you're struggling at all with forgiveness, this book is for you. Also, though, many times, Sherry, people have said to me, forgiveness coach or Sister Cobb, I'm good, I'm straight on forgiveness, right? I'm cool, I don't have any issues. But sometimes we may think we have forgiven in our head, and reality is things can happen that prove to us, maybe I really haven't forgiven.
Yes.
This book is for you. If you're doing a Bible study on forgiveness, if you're teaching
Okay.
on forgiveness,
Okay.
right? And you mentioned, and I appreciate that because God definitely had me do it this way, the questions at the end of the chapter and the reflective scriptures at the end of the chapter. One, the book is an easy read, but it's not meant for you to rush through.
Exactly. I found on the first chapter I had to take a break and come back to it because it really I can't say it exactly hit home, but I saw it pulled out some things in me. And again, I really like how you pulled those scriptures together, how you pulled those the thoughts, and then there's even opportunities for you to write, fill in
right.
the blanks and things like
Exactly,
that.
exactly.
It was very helpful.
Because it's a process.
Yes, it
This
is a
a
process.
process that you're going through. So it's just not hurry up, read it, I'm done with it. But I want you to think about what you're reading. Ask yourself the questions, the necessary questions, and don't move forward until you're ready to move forward to the next chapter, right? So if a book club, this is good for you.
Okay.
If you're hosting some type of conference or training on forgiveness, it's a good supplement. So this book truly is for everyone.
And I love the fact that I was able to download it on my Kindle. I have Kindle
ma'am.
Unlimited, and I recommend Kindle Unlimited for anybody that, students, and I'm a student anyway, so I had that, and I was just able to use it on my tablet, on my phone, but she also has it paperback, and you can, right now, if you want to, you can go to SandraLCobb.com, SandraLCobb.com, and you can click on there and find out not only about the book, but she does a whole lot of other things. We'll talk about that later on in the show. All right, so I got some great questions I want to ask you.
right.
I've been excited, waiting for you to get
Okay.
here.
I'm ready.
All right, so we talked about who should read the book, and so now I want to ask you, why do you think the message of forgiveness is so important?
Wow. Okay, so in this life, we're living this life, right? There is an enemy, regardless of, you may have different faith beliefs, right? But there's an agenda that the enemy has to attack people, which is to steal and to destroy and your purpose, your hope, your dreams. And I believe that one of the weapons that he uses is unforgiveness.
Wow. I didn't think it was could be that serious, but the more I reflected on it, it can be.
It can be, because unforgiveness, if you store up that unforgiveness and resentment and anger and bitterness in your heart, he has the opportunity to rob the joy that you are intended to have, the peace of mind you're intended to have, and not just those internal things, but even physical things that you're risking when you store up unforgiveness in your heart. And so there's the weapon of unforgiveness, but I believe as people, we have weapons too. And we have the power to say, no, I'm not giving up my joy. I'm not giving up my peace.
Yes.
I'm not giving up my good health.
Okay.
I'm going to decide to forgive. Free to Forgive is a resource, Sherry, to help you to do that, to
Okay.
help you, arm you with the weapon that you need to fight for your peace, to fight for your joy, to fight for your hope, to fight for your life, and not give up. And then so that we can enjoy this abundant life that was given to us, that was intended for us to have.
And I found out that some things you find kind of embarrassing, that you feel this kind of way about it. And so you kind of, you try to put it aside. We love to use the word, oh, you just petty.com. But to some people, some things are very serious to them, and it's funny because we were talking earlier, even in church, we don't talk about forgiveness a lot. I see people, I tell people, now you're going to take communion knowing that you're going through this and that. We're supposed to examine ourselves.
Right,
and for a lot of people, forgiveness is a thing that I'll speak for myself. Sometimes I have covered it up with just ignoring people, just blocking it out and moving on. But I found out, like, you could see someone and it trigger a whole bunch of emotions in you, and so that lets you know, no, you have not forgiven.
Thank you for realizing that, because a lot of people don't realize that, and sometimes one of the deceitful thoughts is that avoidance. That's what it is.
That's my favorite coping mechanism. Avoid them.
Avoidance is just that,
Yes.
avoiding, but it's not forgiveness, right? So you can avoid it for a while, and maybe even for years.
Yes.
But until you really address the issue, examine yourself, as you said. We have to be willing to examine ourselves. But sometimes people don't know, and I talked about this in Free to Forgive, don't realize that there are some clues that maybe you haven't forgiven.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
So a clue might be the thought of a certain person's name
Ooh. Yes.
sends you from 0
Yes.
to 10 like that.
I have one or two of those.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
That's a clue that something might be in there. If there is something that someone did to you and you're constantly thinking about it, you're really trying not to even, but you keep thinking about it. The thoughts won't go away. There's like automatic replay. You can't sleep at night. You can't concentrate at work because this event that happened to you is constantly on your mind, then that's a clue that maybe there's something I need to deal with.
Yes.
Right?
I dream about a particular incident, and I'm always disappointed when I dream about it because I'm like, get over it, get over it. But I realize that's a clue. Like, it's
That can
still
be a clue.
bothering me, and I haven't let it go.
So what I don't want you to do is feel, I think that's a benefit that you're having those dreams.
Really?
Right? Yes.
Okay.
Because you can deal with it now. You can't. My bishop always says, and a shout out to my bishop,
Bishop Van.
Bishop Edgar L. Van, and First Lady Elder Sheila Van,
Yes.
who are just amazing leaders and supporters of all of us, but of me, and I really do appreciate it. But Bishop always says, you cannot conquer what you're not willing to confront.
Okay.
So the fact that you dream about it, I see that as a good thing, because that's telling you something's there.
Okay.
Now it's on you to do something about it, right? And so if I may, I'm going to take it a step further.
Sure.
There's, and I talk about this often in my content and as I'm speaking to others, when it comes to forgiveness, sometimes people say, where do I start? And so for me,
Where do we start?
Where do we start? I'm a basic girl, right?
Right.
Let's start back with the basics.
Okay.
The ABCs of forgiveness is what I call it.
Okay.
And so the A is first admit there's an issue.
Ooh.
Your dreaming about it helps you to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So that admits that is me able to say something's not right here. Right? I'm feeling some kind of way about this person and this thing. I'm not comfortable with it, and I want to do something about it. It's hurting me. All those things admit. And what I love about, we were talking about it earlier, what I love so much about God and my relationship with Him, we don't have to clean things up.
Okay.
I can, those feelings that you may have when you think about a certain person or that dream, take if the feelings are ugly, take them to God.
Okay.
And talk to Him about it. So admit. The B is what I talk about is beware of misconceptions about forgiveness. And so we can spend some time talking about those misconceptions. And the C is to cast and choose to decide. Cast that pain, cast that hurt, cast those feelings that you have, that anger, that resentment. Call it what it is.
Okay.
Right? Don't. Something's bothering me. No, I'm so mad. I could spit nails. Whatever. Describe it the way it really is, and take that to God and cast it. Throw it on Him. That's what He says. Cast all your cares on me because I care for you, and you can do that. And then you're positioning yourself, Sherry, to make a decision. That's what forgiveness is. Make a decision to choose to forgive.
So forgiveness is a choice.
Forgiveness is, I call it both.
Okay.
It's a choice and a decision.
Okay.
Okay, so sometimes, and I remember doing this post on social media, and I asked that question, is forgiveness a choice or a decision?
Okay.
For many believers, they say it's a decision. You really don't have a choice because the Bible tells us we're supposed to forgive.
Okay.
Right?
Right.
But the Bible tells us to do a lot of stuff.
Yes.
And every day we're choosing whether or not we're going to obey what the Bible says. So that's where the choice comes in. I'm choosing to decide to obey what God told me to do.
Teach us, Elder.
Okay.
That was good.
All right.
That was
All
really
right.
good.
So we can choose to decide to forgive.
Okay, so we're getting close to a break.
Okay.
We're getting close to a break. When we go to the break, we're going to have a commercial where you can go to the website, sandralcobb.com. And when we come back, I've got some even better questions that you don't want to miss. So I want you to stay right there. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Break free from unforgiveness. Order your copy today. Create a life of passion, liberty, hope. Visit sandracobb.com for more details.
Watkins Broadcasting is going worldwide. Now you can watch Detroit's own WHPR on your TV from anywhere in the world. No matter where you are, you can stay in the know with WHPR TV and Roku. You can get your easy-to-install Roku box from wherever you shop for your entertainment gear. Once your Roku box is connected to your TV and internet, go to the channel store on the home menu of the Roku box. Enter WHPR TV in the search engine and add it to your channels. That's it. That's all you need to get the best in entertainment, news, and talk, no matter where you are. Roku brings all of your favorites to your TV. Netflix, Hulu Plus, Crackle, HBO Go, and now WHPR TV, Detroit Live. In the world of digital broadcasting, transmitters and exciters sometimes do this. If this happens when you're watching WHPR TV 33, please do this. Watch us on Fire Stick, Roku, Apple TV, Google TV, or TV33WHPR.com. Download the WHPR TV app, and we can also be heard on Amazon Echo. So remember, if you see this, you can do this and support the station that supports you.
Break free from unforgiveness. Order your copy today. Create a life of passion, liberty, hope. Visit sandracobb.com for more details.
To the Author Speaks, where we give the author the opportunity to speak directly to you. And if you've been watching, you know we have a phenomenal guest today, Sandra L. Cobb. Sandra Cobb is in the house, and she is telling us about forgiveness. Be free to forgive.
Amen.
All right,
Amen.
so I'm ready. I don't want to waste any
Okay,
time. I
all
got to
right.
get to these questions.
Okay.
So what are some of the reasons you think people keep people from forgiving?
Okay, so that's the B part.
Okay.
Of the ABCs, beware of forgiveness, misconceptions. And misconception is just faulty thinking
Okay.
about a thing, right? Or sometimes in some areas it's called stinking thinking.
Oh.
Right, stinking thinking.
Okay.
So there are a lot of people who are making a bad decision or a decision, because the decision is up to them, a decision on bad information. So, for example, a misconception about forgiveness is that my offender has to apologize to me first in order for me to forgive. If your offender apologizes to you for something he or she has done to you, that's great. That's awesome. But you want that. That's
Right.
gravy, right? Because we think, okay, they get it. They know what they've done wrong. Reality is you may never get an apology from the person who offended you. And so you mentioned the first chapter of my book, and you all get the book, you'll get to know my story, some of my story. And when that got me to this point of talking about forgiveness, 37 years ago, my baby sister was murdered, and I'm going to go fast forward to a trial. There was a trial with the two offenders, and they were found guilty. They never apologized, Sherry. They never apologize, right? And yet, though, the expectation of me is that I still needed to forgive. Here's another misconception, is that forgiveness is only for the person, right? The other person. But forgiveness is for you first.
Yeah.
Right? Forgiveness is releasing a person from owing you a debt that you believe they owe you for something they've done wrong to you. Before you release them, you release yourself from that anger when you forgive. You release yourself from bitterness and resentment. When you release yourself to set yourself on this pathway that gets you to the liberty and freedom that you want to live. All that comes to you before you release. Or it's the onset of it, right? When you decide to release the person. So that's a misconception, two of them, that I got to apologize. My offender has to apologize to me first. I'll even use Jesus on the cross as the example. Remember when he hung on the cross?
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
He had 7 last words to share to us all, and the first word was, Father, forgive them. Father, forgive them. Forgive them for what? Forgive them for lying on me. Forgive them for spitting in my face. Forgive them for putting this crown of thorns on my head. Forgive them for beating me to the point that I'm not even recognizable as a human being. And all these people were still in the crowd when he says, Father, forgive them. He can only ask for forgiveness because he had forgiven. And not one where in the scripture does it say any one of those persons stepped up and said, I'm sorry.
Well, and you know what? On the flip side of that, I would like to say there are a lot of people waiting on an apology that the person doesn't even know they've offended you.
Yes, ma'am.
I just talked to a relative the other day. I didn't even know she had blocked me.
Mm-hmm.
She's been mad at me for a whole year over a Facebook post that really had nothing to do with her.
Mm-hmm.
You know, she built all of this up in her mind. And because of a family situation, we had to communicate. And I said, I've been texting you. She said, let me apologize. She said, I had you blocked. And she said, I don't even know how to unblock you. I have to get the kids to unblock you. And what was in her mind was totally opposite of anything that I would ever do or, to her. And so, again, I just want to say, sometimes we're waiting on an apology. You haven't communicated anything to the person to even let them know that you're hurt. So I think a lot of that is self-inflicted too.
Some of it can be, and and we don't have time to talk about it all. So you got to get my book and follow me on Facebook and everything.
Yeah.
But even and I talk about a lifestyle of forgiveness.
Okay.
Because we're not always the one who is offended. Sometimes we've done the offense.
Wow.
Even when we don't know.
No, that's right.
And sometimes we're the ones that owe an apology to
Yes.
someone, and there's a certain way to do that, so we can practice this lifestyle of forgiveness. So those are a couple, and so I'm throwing that out there. Look out for that. Those practice a lifestyle of forgiveness. Follow me. Get my book, so we can talk more in detail about all of this good stuff.
It's so much. It's just not enough time. But I'm going to ask one more question. Okay, what about the person who thinks that they've forgiven someone, but maybe they're not sure? We did talk about some triggering signs, but you just expound on that, and then we'll talk more about what the other things that you do.
So you can, I do this, and I suggest to others that they do, go to God, even in this lifestyle of forgiveness, periodically, routinely, though, on purpose, intentionally. Ask God, is there someone in my heart that I haven't forgiven?
Okay.
Is there an issue, especially if things don't seem to be going well, if things don't just seem, even if they do seem to be going well, right, they could be better. God, is there someone I'm holding a grudge against? Am I still resentful towards so and so for something that they did? And God, ask God to show you and reveal to you what it is.
Okay, one quick question.
Yeah.
So, say I've forgiven someone, but I just don't want to be your friend anymore. Some people have tried to accuse me that I haven't forgiven. No, you have shown me you're a thief, or you've shown me you're a liar, or whatever. I choose to not have that in my space. Now, I'm not stopping you from being friends with that person, but I don't want to deal with that person anymore. Is that still a sign of unforgiveness?
So here's a misconception
Okay.
as well, that forgiveness means that reconciliation must take place. Forgiveness can lead to reconciliation. It absolutely can lead to reconciliation, but it may not. It may not be, it takes one person to forgive, but it takes two individuals to decide to reconcile and bring that relationship back to where it was. An example, someone who's gone through physical abuse, some type of abuse, you may decide to forgive the abuser, but until that abuser gets the help that he or she needs, it may not be safe for you to reconcile. Right? But it doesn't mean you haven't forgiven. What you need to look at is, what are those feelings that I have when I say I don't want to have anything else to do with them? Again, does bitterness come up when you think about that? Right?
I mean, I have some...
And you know that.
Yeah, I have some relatives that I've just decided, yeah.
Yeah.
You know, like, if they weren't related to me, I really wouldn't deal with them. You know, they're, for whatever reasons, you know, their personalities just don't gel with me.
Right.
You know, and they'll say, well, I'm sorry about that. I'm cool with that. I just, we can't run together no more. You're a little messy, you know, and I just want to move on. So, but you're saying that, but still, is that a sign of unforgiveness, or just a choice to be free from drama?
You absolutely have the choice to be free from drama. You want to dig deeper.
Okay.
You do want to dig deeper. Are you able to pray for that person? Genuinely.
Yes, I am.
Genuinely.
Yes,
you know,
I
do
am.
you wish well for that person?
I do.
Genuinely.
Just in your space.
Yeah.
Just oh my goodness, we actually need to do another show. This has been a
my
phenomenal half hour. I'm just so excited.
Bless you. Thank you for having me.
Again, she also does coaching.
Yes, ma'am. Forgiveness coaching. Certified forgiveness coach.
Wow. Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Certified.
Certified.
So what I want you all to do is to go online to SandraLCobb.com, and I want you to order the book. I want you to also check out her services and give her a call. All right. All right. Our time is up. But I want you to keep it locked into this station. Why? Because we're the greatest in the nation. You are watching WHPR Studios.
Break free from unforgiveness. Order your copy today. Create a life of passion, liberty, hope. Visit SandraCobb.com for more details.